So one of my friends came up from Arkansas, and she said, hey, I'm coming up to Shawnee. She goes, I'm going to stay in Shawnee and go up tomorrow morning, and I'm going to audition for The Voice in Oklahoma City at the open call. And I said, don't waste your time. I said, there's going to be 30,000 some bitches up there standing in line. And it's hot today, you know? And she goes, well, I'm going to try it anyway. And I said, well, good on you. And I had my band and everything. So, you know, and so she come stayed at my house that night, drove in, stayed at my house. I woke up the next morning, and she had me and her a pass printed out. And she goes, you're going with me. And I said, no, I ain't either. I ain't going to do that. I said, you got the wrong fool. I ain't standing in 105-degree weather out there waiting in line for 7 hours, you know? And so after that, I mean, she was like, just do it with me. She goes, this is a bucket list. She goes, if I make it, fine. If I don't, fine. I don't care. And I was like, I don't want to do this. So we ended up going up there that morning and got up there at like 8 o'clock that morning. And we pull up, it was the Ford Center then. And it was Ford or Chesapeake Arena. I don't remember which one it was. It was Chesapeake, then it was Ford, and now it's Paycom. But we pulled up around there, and there was a line, buddy. I mean, you couldn't shoot a 22 that far. As far as, and so I was like, oh my God. And so we parked 4 miles away, it felt like, and we walked and we stood and we stood and we stood, and finally got in the building. Well, they was calling them, you know, the different sections in the stadiums. They were calling sections at a time to come down. And so I ended up getting down there on the floor with her. Well, they split her away from me and took her over into a different line. Well, I get into the room, and they was making 10 people at a time stand in line and step up and start in the course and step back. And then another person steps. Well, they said no to everybody, including me. And I grabbed the door when everybody's walking out, and like a gentleman should, and like I was raised to know, I grabbed the door and I'm holding it for everybody that's going to walk out. Mm-hmm. When I'm fixing to close that door, that producer goes, hey man, wait a minute, come here. And I said, yes, sir. How can what can I do for you? How can I help you? And he goes, somebody get this guy a chair. So I sit down and he goes, and honest to God's words, he goes, what's your fucking story? And I was like, man, I grew up, small town shit and all this stuff. And he goes, man, I like hearing you talk. And these are LA people most of them. Oh yeah. And so just me talking, he goes, I'm gonna push you through the next round. And I sang Here's a Quarter, Travis Tritt. Mm-hmm. That's what I sang. And so I ended up going out to LA, and I had to go through all these different auditions and got to LA and all that stuff. And buddy, I about got thrown in jail in LA because I was picking up trash off the corner. I was picking up one of those newspaper boxes was open, and the newspapers are just blowing out of that box. Well, I picked me up a big old bundle of it, pulled up and throws his lights on me and asking me what the hell I'm doing, because I guess he thought I was stealing them newspapers. And I said, I'm picking up this trash, and he goes, you're picking up trash. And I said, I got my cowboy hat. I mean, we're in Burbank, California. Yeah. And I've got my cowboy hat on, and he goes, you're picking up trash. And I said, get in the car. And I'm like, oh shit, here we go. And so he puts me in the car in the driver's side, in the passenger side in the front. You get to walk the street. That's the only thing you get to do when you're out there on the show, because you're sequestered. Mm-hmm. And so I walk across the street and get food, and you got to check in and check out, and they can look down from the hotel and see you. There's people up there that's the producers that are
the spotters,
pretty much monitoring. And so he puts me in that car, and I'm like, I'm done for sure. They're going to see me get put in a cop car. Don't matter what side, what door. They see me get put in a cop car. And so he took me over there where I was going to walk, and he bought me lunch. And he goes, man, I have to apologize to you. He goes, I honest to God thought that you were up to no good. And he said, buddy, if we had more people like you around here, he said it'd be a better place.
Guys, thanks so much for watching the clips. If you would like, please subscribe. Also, if you'd like more clips like this, click here. Or if you'd like to enjoy this whole episode, click here.